Hello everyone, I'm Renowned Zero. We are back again talking about an interesting development going on now within the indie comic space and the Comics Gate space, as we now have Nyobi of Nyobi Comics suddenly siding with Eric July. It's a very interesting development because this guy has been a weirdo detractor of the Rippaverse since its inception, claiming that Eric doesn't know what he's doing, he's going to fail, he doesn't understand that he should be in comic shops, when literally the direct-to-market consumer type of transaction is actually the more relevant type of way to go about it nowadays as comic shops continue to die off. But what also seems to be dying off are grifter channels that are trying to nip at the ankles of Eric July on a consistent basis, like a Frog Tony and Katie did and the like. It's weird that all of a sudden people like Katie did and others want to suddenly have conversations, and all of a sudden, meanwhile, all the irreparable damage and all the lies and all the BS being spread about Eric July for no real reason other than he made a comic book that they didn't like, and people pushed back against the lies and the constant defamation of Eric July, his employees, and his company. But we'll get into what I'm talking about in just a moment as we go through the usual promotions of Bloodroof #1's pre-order collection. 24 days, 3 hours to go. Looking like over 10,600 books sold with total sales of over $585,000. We also have, of course, the Rippaverse Trinity, which is the collection that contains ISOM #1 with updated colors, updated lettering, Alpha Core #1, you have Yaira #1 as well. All within a collection for $45 for the soft cover, $85 for the hardcover, which is limited to 1,000. The hardcover is. The soft cover most likely will be constantly reprinted, and you'll be, of course, saving money if you purchase the soft cover of the Rippaverse Trinity Volume 1, because factor in the 3 issues separately would be $70, or maybe somewhere around there, and you'll end up saving money in the long run. But you also have things like shirts, sweatshirts, and posters as well if you want to buy some merch. It's kind of like the Gooding collection where it has limited on like a low amount of items to pick from, but still a pretty cool collection. I'm most likely going to be picking up the hardcover of this to kind of do a comparison between the old issue of ISOM 1 versus the recolored version and updated lettering of ISOM #1 in the hardcover. And honestly, I just prefer hardcovers overall. They're easier to put on bookshelves, and I just like the feel of the hardcover books. So that's at, interesting enough, 666 total books sold with over $50,000 in total sales. You can also get in on Heroic Tales #1 still. This book is shipping out right away when you get it from Fund My Comic, from John Booyah of John's Long Box over on YouTube. So if you like to get in on an awesome type of story with a strong father figure with awesome powers, get in on this is classic superhero goodness coming from a guy who's basically a wealth of knowledge when it comes to comic books. You can also get in on Phenomenova issue 1 Lightning Strikes by Vaughn Coleman over on his website at RebelOasisStudios.com. If you want to pick up this book, it's a fun book that you can read from an up-and-coming indie creator, so you can get in on it right over here on RebelOasis.com. I'll leave links to everything below in the description of this video. Now, we do have a short clip from the Rippaverse Gold Post Twitter account. I did watch the entire 15 minutes of this video. I'll more than likely leave a link to that in the description below. I think it's a great video of a man finally seeing the light and coming over to the other side of common sense from what he's been originally doing. I'll have to give him credit for actually admitting that he was wrong the whole time, and that Eric July as a business should, in fact, him as a businessman should be given respect, that he's changed the mold when it comes to the indie comic space, and he's now a full-time publisher, creator, etc. So let's get into this clip really quick. It's 2 minutes, 19 seconds. We're going to get into the video really quick, and I'll give my commentary as we go through the clip. Let's take a listen.
I think it's dumb. I think it's lame. I think it's been played out. And while I did participate in it at first, because it was funny for a whole 5 minutes and a cup of coffee, it got old really quick. I made my 1 or 2 videos criticizing Eric because it was funny to do. But after that, if you notice on my channel, we really don't discuss Eric at all, right? Other than he's made a lot of money.
Because that's kind of like how it should be. You should just put your opinion out on a video and kind of move on, which is actually something he touched on in the full video. It's like, make your one video, give your opinions, give your criticisms, quote unquote, and then move on to the next thing.
And he has. He's made a lot of money. And he's made a lot of strides in this business. He's gained a lot of ground. He's turned a lot of heads. He's built a very successful multi-million-dollar business. He's gotten other collaborators involved, like Yellow Flash, like Drunk 3PO,
like Iron Studios, like McFarlane Toys. He's got quite a bit of things going on, which, by the way, tomorrow they will be putting out a Rippa VO showcase showcasing 30 minutes of new things coming in 2025 and beyond from the Rippaverse. So check that out at 5 p.m. Central, which would be 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I believe it's 3 p.m. Pacific. So depending on your time zone in the US or anywhere else in the world, make sure to check that out. If you're a fan of the Rippaverse and you're looking forward to new stuff, that's going to be a great thing to be watching tomorrow.
I am part of Nyobi Comics. Okay, that's the only brand that matters to me. That and what my friends do, my close friends. Outside of that, almost every other comic on the shelf is my competition. But we don't have to slice each other's heads off to be competition, do we? I don't need to do that at all. What I can do is...
No, we don't have to come at each other's necks or whatever you said, because the pie isn't fixed. As Eric July has always said, the pie isn't fixed. People are going to be able to buy comic books from multiple creators, similar to how people buy multiple different video games from multiple developers and multiple producers, or publishers, I should say.
Is give the man respect, finally. Because he deserves it. I'm kind of sick and tired of the bashing on Eric July. I think it's dumb. I think it's played out.
Personally, I don't think it's going to stop for quite a bit from certain creators. But we'll see how it goes, honestly.
I gave a big speech the other night on someone else's channel about how this has just gone to the point of lunacy. And we really need to clean up the comic book space in 2025. We need to get rid of the people who are constantly attacking this man. And who am I talking about? Who are these people? Well, I'm going to be flat out honest. These people are Comicsgate and what they call New Comicsgate, NUCG. These
New CG being basically the worst types because they're literally out for drama and blood sports.
people are like scavengers, right? Dirtbags, right? The the low lifes of society who think that bagging on Eric and his supporters is somehow helping the comic book industry.
Oh, it's absolutely not helping the comic book industry, and most of the people that are bashing on Eric July and bashing on Eric July's supporters are people who are not comic fans. They are literally out for drama and blood sports and for nipping at the ankles of Eric July constantly because they see a slight cash flow coming in due to doing exactly that. So they're going to do it as long as they can. Obviously, Eric has touched on this many times. When it comes to drama farming, it only goes so far. You may get a little cash here and there, but eventually the well will dry up and people will get sick of listening to you constantly complain about the same thing over and over again when it's not really necessary. Now, it is different from things like the video game industry where people are constantly calling out nonsense going on, like bad things happening, whereas people with new CG, they're just talking about how all of Eric's books are bad and this is bad and his fans are bad and his business is gonna fail and things of that nature. But it's all stupid. I've always said this like all the time. It's all nonsense. It's all opinions. People are allowed to like Eric stuff. People are allowed to not like Eric stuff. Again, I've said this plenty of times as well. I believe in absolute freedom of speech. If you want to give your criticisms or opinions on something, go right ahead. But don't try to take away someone else's fun just because you're not having fun with something. If people enjoy the Rippaverse and you don't, you have no right to tell the people who are enjoying the Rippaverse that they cannot enjoy the Rippaverse just because you don't. And I've said this even about video games. You are not the arbiter of what people can play or what is considered fun. It is all opinion based, and it is all up to the person reading the comics or playing the games or watching the movies or TV shows. So at the end of the day, good on Nyobi for finally coming to his senses and realizing how stupid all of this really is. We'll just have to wait and see what ends up happening with a lot of other people who haven't seen how stupid this really is. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit that like button, comment below what you feel about all this, subscribe for more content, hit the bell for notifications, set the bell to all, that way you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or go live on this channel, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.